Hello. Testing. Buh. Okay. I'm back. Alrighty. 1 second. Boom, bam, 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 bam. Alright. Let's get down to business. Oh, God. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Okay, there you go. Oh shit, this song. 1 second. No, 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 no. Sorry. Alert, refresh, alert, refresh. False alarm, false alarm. I'm not a... Okay, you're a weeb. Okay. Here we go. And we're back into the game. What's up, Una? How you doing? Welcome, welcome. What's up, what's up? Okay, it's not really internet though. Don't worry. Internet is fine. Ooh. Okay, I'll put that aside for a minute. Bap, 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 bap. How you guys doing, by the way? What's up? Lucas, Chew Up, and Una. How you guys doing today? What's up, what's up? Welcome back to this very chilly stream. Oh my god. Refreshing. Oh my god. Alright. Today, I mean, I don't really have any plans. But the usual drawing and then gaming. Although, today we're probably going to try a bunch of new games. There's a lot of new games and a lot of new demos that we can try today, which is going to be fucking awesome. Sketches? let me check it out. Let me check it out. Let me. Whoa, what is? Whoa, Twitch got a new feature. New and returning. Terminated channel. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Let me see. Let me see. Yeah. What do we have here? Yeah. You fucking what, mate? Pull up this drawings. Looks a little bit different now with this crop. Oh god. Oh no. Oh no. Sure you're alright? What do you mean? Hold up. Alright, let's see. Oh, I forgot to check mark some of the one that I've done. Um. Oh my god, some of you guys don't even redeem properly. Once in have a redeem just called free art go brr. He probably put his request on another message. God damn it, man. What's in? Is he here? Okay, Jix with some draw some furry shit. And why are you guys like this? I don't know if I'm gonna I don't know if I'm gonna draw that. Holy shit. Okay. Let's do some of the old ones. You know, first in, first out. Yeesh. Who requested? Oh my god. Leo with a spider body? Listen, mate. You're really testing my fucking... ability here. What the fuck? It's Saints Flow. Of course. Of course it's Saints. Okay, let's draw something a little bit different. Okay. Alright, I got one. Oh my fucking god. Ah, boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, let me see. How am I gonna do this one? Uh, it's gonna be quite the interesting one. Hmm. Uh, okay. God. Oh boy. I hope I don't accidentally draw something a little bit too spicy here. I need to control myself. No, it's not. I'm gonna reveal the request later after I get to a certain extent. Hmm. Okay, okay. Okay. It's gonna be challenging to get a reference for this one. So I'm gonna rely on my imagination. Shit. Oh boy. What's up, Mary? How you doing? Don't worry, don't mind it. Na, na, na. Okay. What you up to? How you doing? Vibing between two lanterns? What do you mean? What does that mean? Between two lanterns. Huh? Bum 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 bum. What does the number means, Mason? I should probably separate this too. I thought you were cultured, but I never heard the term lanterns in any of the cultured terms. I don't know. I don't have. I never use lanterns. Is that like new term? I don't know. Old? Maybe region then. Because I never used it. Lanterns. Sounds very specific. Is this VR chat related? If it's VR chat related, then I kinda get the idea then. Oh. Ba, ba, ba. Final Fantasy, yep. They say mama mama subwords translating to 1191. Oh my god. Yeah, I mean it's never accurate. It never was. Okay. Okay. Probably gonna put the hands right around here. Okay. Power of imagination. Never was and never wore. I am trying. Because I noticed previously we got some viewers that relies on it. Unfortunately, it's not that accurate, Sag. Ever was end of or worth. I'll change your face. I know you do what. But you know what to do, and it's fun up, cut off what you say. Oh, it's what it is. So. Okay. It's a little bit more like so important. So it's going to you. It's always on me. It's caught up what you say. It's always on me. It's caught up what you say. Don't you know what to do? And it's caught up what you say. Okay. Head's too big. Blah, 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 blah. I think next too long. Anatomy. Okay, it's messy. Okay, I think you got it. Think we got it. Oh, she ate your nigase, don't know you manikita, amoiro mama, ate. Ay, 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 ay. Oshiete. Omoiro mama. God. I may or may not be a little bit too ambitious about this one, but fuck it, dude. Oshiete. Endeavor. Boom ba 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 boom ba ba ba. mm, it's not dropping, right? Okay, it's not. We cheerly-o, we cheerly-o. I want to make the eyes a little bit bigger. Okay, somewhere around. Wow, 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 wow. Hold up. How does mount fucking work again? Yep. So like. Gosh, it's such a weird angle, dude. I'm touching the borderline right now. God. Whew. All right. Oh. Boom, 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 boom. I feel like this drawing is gonna expose me on my other kind of drawing that I do. Oh boy. Do 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 do. Hey? Hey? How does that... Okay. The fuck? Huh. I feel like this kind of drawing really needs some really good references. But oh man, I'm really YOLOing this right now because I really want to draw it. Kind of like fecky dude. Let's just see where we can go with this. Hmm. I'm not sure if the head is too small or is it just me. Ah. Uh. Uh. Man, I can't really tell. Cock. What's up, Jigs? How you doing? Calm down, chat. Calm down. This is not gonna go over the pass. It's supposed to be wholesome. All right, calm down. Everyone, calm down. Actually, show it that it's the head angles over there, so I'm gonna show her ear. But yeah, put it like this. How you doing? Chat, this doesn't look spicy at all, right? This is fine, right? I'm going a little bit overboard here. To his outlook, spicy if the system is funded. Mm. I'm lost in the bed sheets and can't get out. Just just get out, man. Lol. Just get out. Oh no. I just realized something. Oh. Oh my god. Okay. I have to do that. Oh god. I didn't even realize. Oh shit. I have to draw the thing. I don't think so. Hold up. Pop, 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 pop. Why does the hair looks weird though? Drawing it wrong? I think I'm drawing it way too squarey. How do I do this without making it too squarey? Like that, I guess. Crop. A bit more visible. Oh, and of course. What did I go? What did I decide? uh da 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 bam bum 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 bada 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 bada. Bidi bidi boop beep boop 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 boom 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 boop boop boom 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 boop 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 boom boom bada 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 bada. Oh yeah, Jix, Wilder Myth is on sale. It's on sale. Jix, it's on sale, Jix. What's that? Oh my god, I swear to god. It's a fucking game. Wildameeth. If you forgot, you can check it out first. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. The current Steam sale that's going on right now is actually really fucking awesome. It's basically anything rogue related. Roguelike, Souls-like, fucking RPG. So many things. So many things. And a lot of them are like one of my favorite games for genre. So we got a lot of games to discover. Very popular opinion, your best girl. True, true. It's not really around my type, but true. I can see that. I can see that. What's up, Toshi? How you doing? But she is very wholesome, though. I do like that part of her. Really, really wholesome. Especially when it comes to Anya. Oh my god. So wholesome, dude. Get you a girl that can murder those that have wronged you. Lip. uh, I don't know about that part. But I agree. Yours one of the best girl. I agree. I agree. Hitman GF. Oh boy. Not wrong though. Not wrong. How do I draw this? Okay, there we go. Actually, let me separate this real quick. I don't know if Hitman GF sounds like a good idea in IRL, but you know, it could work. I can see it. It could work. Oh boy. Oof. It's kind of hot in here. Ah. Hold up. Angle. Something's off here. Bwah, bwah, bwah. Bwah, 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 bwah. Bwah, bwah, bwah. BRB, alright. Take it easy. Okay, I swear Katie looks a little bit small. Hold up. She's kind of small though, but not that small. Perspective. Whoa! Hold up. I need some more reference. Here, get a distraction. He's sliding. Look. Yeah. What do you mean, wow? W Omega Lul W W W. I need your input, chat. Actually, no. Wait. Thing. I feel like. Okay, let me up the. Okay. Okay, she's definitely too. Okay, let me. Okay. The character scale is a little bit off here. Oh boy. Is this I think this is more proper. I feel like the character scale is a little bit off, but I'm not too sure. Wait, Booba God? No, it's still there. I just need to rescale the character because it's a little bit off. She got a little bit bigger. There we go. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, let's just draw first. Maybe we'll get somewhere. Okay. I think a pajamas would be fitting here. Sorry, boys, no Nikki. It's gonna be wearing a pajamas because it's sleep time. You know? Obviously, this is a sleep time. What are you expecting, huh? Which kind of sleep time? The sleep time. You know, the sleep time. It's the sleep time. But why no naked? Cause it's always just wear pajamas. Don't you guys wear pajamas on sleep time? Right? Like jammies, you know? This angle is really challenging though, holy shit. Actually, let me just let her shoulder down. Okay, this is gonna be the hardest part to draw though. Okay, let me see. How can I make this natural? I'm making it looks weird. Oh yeah, jigs! I just realized as I said weird. Is he still here? No, he's gone. I'm gonna ask him to fucking
Ikaboga.
upload his cat emote. Is amazing. Oh! What up, Jingo? How you doing? Ikabuga. Ikabokam. Ikambokam. Okay. Scale, 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 scale. I think scale is fine here. I'm really playing with some fucking... Okay. You guys really enjoying
You drawing,
the
Ludi? That's nice, I mean. Click. Noise.
Okay. I like that click. Not really lewd, it's just more of a wholesome the aim wise, but I guess it indirectly kind of lewdy. Where should I put her arm actually? Uh, mhm, mhm. Do do dee ding. Do do doom. Mhm. 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 Ah, the requester is here. I told you I will do it. I told you. You request, I do it. Although I'm kind of struggling right now, I'm not gonna lie. What's up? Onsen, welcome. Help! Oh, I gotta showcase her earring. It's one of my favorite traits of her. Jesus Christ, okay. Thank you. It's a compliment, actually. Thank you, thank you. I mean, it's nothing so far, but it's something. Like it's not done. What do you think? What do you think so far? Um. If I can make rain looks up a little bit more. Ten out of 10 for efforts for now. Fair enough. I do feel like let me see. Okay, let me try something. Okay, let's not include the hair here because it's too hard to deal with. Okay, you know what? Fucking just the whole fucking neck. There we go. Okay. Alright, I think that's fitting. How you doing, by the way? What's up, what's up? How's the workout? You have intense workout or you have chill workout? Super intense. Hmm. intense before sleep. Yeah, not too intense. All right, not too intense. Don't want to tire yourself out. Careful there, careful. Kiara Furu. I don't know where should I put Katie's right arm. Like, I still have no idea where to put it. It's just kind of there. Maybe here. This could be good. Like just leaning over the shoulder. I could do that. Hmm. All right, calm down there, cowboy. Oh Lord. Drawings makes everyone's kind of intense, huh? Between the arm or over the shoulder or behind the head.
Harlow wants in, you wonderful mod Betchy.
Could. Whoa, mama. What's up, Satria? Nell? Welcome, welcome. Hmm. Hmm. Kiss. Okay. I'd have to. Okay, so I want Rain to put her arm over here, right? Pulling her close. Like so. So it's like here, from here. Boom. Oh, well, I cannot see it, the arm, so we're like boop boop. Something like that. Uh. Okay. Let's try over the shoulder. So it would be something like a little bit above here. God, anatomy is so fucking annoying to deal with. Something like this, right? Let me dim her real quick. And it's a little bit reaching over. So bing, bang, bada bing, bada boom. We want the fingers to be very gentle over here. Like something like that. Just gently down there. I mean, put there. Down there. Whoa. Okay, something like this, I guess. Whoa! Gonna lurk a bit. Alright, dude. Ah.
BTW Rad, I hope you
Oh,
doing well this day. I was chilling and relaxing on this Hari Raya and I am enjoying my comfy here. I
good.
can comfy here and enjoy your art, they were amazing Rad. You
Thank
are
you.
amazing and make me learn more about drawing sketch and R.
Oh god, got cut off because the TTS got limited. You're amazing. Make me learn more about drawing, sketch, and art line, and so on. Yes, I want to make something new and learn it properly. Thank you, dude. Appreciate it. I'm glad that you can learn something from this very beginner drawing stuff. So thank you, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Much love. I'm glad that it can bring something. Even though I'm not really good with teaching stuff, so I guess just watching me doing stuff kind of help in some way. But yeah, man. Thank you. That's nice. That's nice. Do it up. Do it up. I do it up, Amanda, do it up. Oops. Hmm. Okay, I want to try something else. Let's see. Let me see if, let's say, want to put her arms over, let's see, here. So like, kind of slipping over here. I guess. Hmm. I keep your pain. Girl, what's going on? What you know? Uh. I kind of like this better for some reason. Say. Okay, let's commit with this one for now. Hold up. I forgot. Upside down. Oh, she ete. Ito. How to arm? Shit, I forgot how to draw arm out of nowhere. I need to practice anatomy more often. It's like my hand's starting to forget how to. Duh. Practice makes perfect, or almost perfect, because nothing is perfect. It's gotta die. Oh my god, I forgot to put her. Oh god. That almost looks very different. Oh. Wait a minute. Wait. Wait, what if... Oh my god. My degen brain just worked. Okay. Hold up. What if... Oh, she ete. Dude, holy shit, she's so fucking thick in this one. It's not supposed to be that thick. Like something like that. I mean, okay, hold up. Jesus fucking Christ, you got a monstrous thighs. Okay, that's perfect. So I kind of separate the arm and the legs. This point's kind of bothering me, but it's whatever for now. We can fix it later, and after touch. And then, watch this. Oh my god. Okay. Listen. Listen. I mean, okay. Um, I mean, I'm not really good at drawing stockings, but I do like the idea here. I wish I could make like the detail and like the netting. You know what I mean? The netting stretch. Oh, I forgot the most important part. This accidental genius. Wait, shit. Wrong color. Oh my god. Genius. Brain massive. Wait, what? Oh. Omega brain. No, I just need to like clean it up, but neuron activation. It's almost like she has a digitigrade legs. What is digitigrade? Jesus Christ. Okay, did I overdo it? Oh my god. Lord Almighty. Three joined legs? Oh, okay. I see what you mean. No, 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 no. I a little bit overdo it. I know what you mean. I might probably like, Oh, let me think. It'd probably better off if I lift her legs a little bit more, maybe. Like, for example, you know. So, like, shit. It's gotta be a little bit challenging, though. Let's see. My anatomy is really bad when it comes to legs. It's not that pro. I might need a reference for this, but I think this is how legs fold. I don't know, dude. I don't think so. Oh, shit. Okay, let's just make this sketch here. Bada bing, right? And then joint right there. And then when it folds, it should kind of overlap over here. I might have to take a fucking selfie reference just for this. Oh god. Too lazy, but oh. I think like I remember. Okay, was it like that or was it? I forget where did the thingy thing, this thing folds to. Hold up. Okay, downwards. Life reference using my own legs. Okay. Bing, and then downwards. I think the inner part that goes upwards. Okay, yeah, it is. So outside goes downwards. When it comes inner part, then it's upwards. Anatomy study. Let's go. That's why it's so important, chat. Very important. Oh! Pizza Cecilia, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. How you doing? Pizza in the hood. Well, you like pizza as well? Pretty sure everyone loves pizza, right? You don't. We need to talk. Okay, now it looks like Rain's tickling her leg or her feet. Make it in this position. Something like this. I'm gonna put details later. I actually rarely study feet, so I'm not really good at it. I need though. How do you feed again? Fuck. Bing, bang, boom, and then bing. Study what now? Okay, let's not take this out of context. I'm trying to. God damn it, Ice. Dude, how do you draw a feet? I don't know. I'm gonna just draw it like that. That looks like a feet. I think. Or a Play-Doh. Bing, Bang, I guess. Fuck, I don't know, dude. There you go, feet. Boom, done. A little bit too small. Fuck.
Did someone said pizza? 'Cause I order one for you, chat.
Oh! Free pizza? Oh shit, bruh. Alright, something like that. I don't know. Alright, okay, it's already wrong. Fuck. Okay, not wrong, but scaling is importante. So, you'd study the whole body? I do sometimes. Most the body part that I studied the most are face. I mean, you know, head overall, torso, and arms. And I really need to learn a lot more about, you know, everything waist downwards. Like I rarely study them. And then hands. That's why all my hands are blocky mess. Like I'm too lazy to draw them properly. Better have pineapples on it. I actually like pineapples on pizza. Not like favorite, but like I don't mind. Fun fact is I also have a pizza in front of me. Oh shit! It's nice. What is it? What's the topping? Anatomy is always important. I see many good arts, but with unnerving poses and weirdly positioned hips and fit. Exactly. That's true. That's true. Even though you're drawing cartoons or fucking animes, art style, and all that stuff, anatomy can really brings your drawings to a whole another level, people. I'm telling you, brother. Okay, I guess that works. Yeah, that should works. Something like that. I'm gonna put more details later. Something like that should work. Bada bing, bada boom. God damn it. This is really challenging. Jesus Christ. Classic pepperoni, I guess. Okay, okay. I like that. I like that. I also like myself some classic pepperoni pizza. I really do. I really do. Hi, Bebret. What are you drawing? Osas. Just a wholesome couple things. Don't worry. It's not getting anywhere. Just some wholesome stuff. There is no boning going on. All right, calm down. Stuffy. Okay. But then again, this is like the sole purpose of me. Not really the sole purpose, like one of the purpose why I created this too. Just so I can draw all the wholesome stuff. Because I actually like those wholesome stuff. I was like, Maybe I can draw more if I have a OC that date each other. Easy artist hack. God, God damn it, Nell. Oh my god. So you gotta be friend. I think you're gonna be a good friend with once in here. Whack, whack. Whack, whack. Whack, whack. Don't get any further, Bev. The Hornet today. I'm gonna go play Apex a bit and go to bed now, so good night, Red. Alright, Chingo. Thank you for stopping by. Have a good night, man. You'll have fun without me. Gonna shower, then lurk. Okay, now. It's getting late for you guys, isn't it? Oh my god. Jesus! Put people over here. Sassy Baka. Is that the hair? The hair, holy shit. I really do have to draw the couch, right? That kind of makes sense. Ah, shit, man. Furniture. That's also not really my forte. Okay, let me just draw her legs real quick.
I just broke up with my girlfriend. We were no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I.
Okay, I already know it.
What I'm thinking of, you wouldn't get this from any other guy. I just want to tell you how I'm feeling. Gotta make you understand. Never G.
It's too long. God damn it. You guys forgot that TTS have limits of 250 words. Okay? God damn it, I know it's coming already. The moment I hear the fucking, you know the rules and so do I was like, okay, fuck you, nailed it. That's how it is. You know the rules and so do I. Damn right, damn right. You know the rules, and so do I. Oh, fuck. Oh wait, I didn't even realize Saints just posted a fucking Among Us symbol. God damn it. What's up, Saints? Welcome. How you doing? Kinda sussy. Just came in and posted a fucking Among Us symbol out of nowhere. Little bit sussy, not gonna lie. Okay, how the fuck do you draw a knee here? I think this makes sense. Not really. Shit. Hold up. Maybe a little bit extends. Classic. That's not me. It's the limitation of the TTS that uses the system. What's it called? The channel points. They limited it because it's not official like Stream Elements or something. It's some free third party stuff. I forgot from what. No's the one that helped me set it up. The mods of all mods. Also that. It's also custom. Sub. So what you guys been up to? The people that just got here. For some reason, there's like a bulk of you suddenly pop up out of nowhere. How you guys doing? How you guys doing? We're halfway to the weekend. Halfway there. But I'm pretty sure most of you guys got a holiday anyway because of the Ramadan stuff. Wait, is it still holiday for you guys? I'm not sure. It's the last day of a holiday for me. Hence the fucking title. Okay, looks like we've been looping this playlist for 3 times now. Let's do trim tab. I guess I really should do more full body drawings so I can understand anatomy better. Because I'm gonna be honest, I always scared to go below the waist. It's really not my field. But at the same time, I shouldn't dodge it. Oh. Jobs. How I love to be taken care of. see street. I'm so Sahedron. I don't need to know. Have to do my best. Call me Trim Tab. And we keep an any job. Not today, not today, not today. How I love to put it off. How I love to be taken care of. And we to prolificity scream. Icosahedron. I don't need to rest. Have to do my best. Call me Trim Tab. God, I love this song so much. Bidoo-bidoo, bidoo-bidoo. And I keep another job. Day, not today, not today. How I love to put it all. How I love to keep taken care of. Icosahedron. I don't need to rest. Have to do my best. Call me Trim Tab. Starter size booba is the best. Not too big, not too small. Hey, preference. Preference. You know what? I respect whatever, you know, whatever it is. Whatever floats your boats. You know what I mean? But you know what's more important than booba? That's right. Knowledge. I get here some books in my garage. Jesus Christ, that's such an old meme. Holy fuck. Does anyone still remember that meme? I'm here in my garage with my Lamborghini. We just got. But you know what's more important than the money? Knowledge. They were still in high school and that meme was a thing. So dumb. That's right. Alright, what are you drawing? What do you mean, what am I drawing? Weren't you here at the start of this sketch? You know what's more important than money? Cock. Ah. God damn it, chat. I need to fine tune Rain though. Rain's body, because I wanna make her, you know, a little bit fit, a little bit muscular, because she got a background on that special force, so she have to be a little bit tough, you know. But I need to fine tune that, because we know we want her to be fit, not too far. I mean, like the I guess like the drawing on the right here, like around this is like fine. It's you know, my muscle anatomy is not that good, so this is not even what I wanted, but something around that. Hmm. You know what's more important than cook? Bible. Huh? Wait, what? Mm. Oh my god. Red quit being a virgin. She's a fiction bundle of lines. Anyway, do you think Ronnie's cute? Good one. Oh my god, Jesus Christ. Sorry. pepeMeltdown. Never take, I never get. Actually, okay, this is where it's hard to draw eyelashes. Sip the knowledge. Oh shit, water. Thank you. Actually, need that. Thank you. What do you mean, sorry? Yeah, true. Such a good song, isn't it? I'm still learning this song actually. If you guys watched yesterday's stream, we played it a little bit, but it's not the whole song. My target is to be able to cover the whole song and then upload it to YouTube. Lifting all the things for long ago. Placing all the subject to the light. Staring through the shadows on the wall. Unable to solve this puzzle box. Maybe. There we go. Halo's Infinite new season is out and I'm so hyped. I'm making a pizza and probably sleep. Come on, man. Is it that bad? Oh no. Isn't Halo a boomer fan base game? Yo, come on, man. You guys are making me feel old. Shut the fuck up, Chad. I like it. Who's the second girl? Right one is Rain, left one is Katie. Both is my OC. This is Rain, the vampire girl from a while ago. Remember? And Katie, I don't have like a full reference of her yet, but this is like supposed to be her character design. But it's like rough sketch, obviously. This is Katie. Maybe next time I'm gonna draw her full body with her outfit. So this is the last one, last time I draw them together. Which is, my art style is already pretty different. Isn't that crazy? This is also before I change Rain's design as well. VRC reference? This one? That's that is classified. I don't know. You know, yeah, Oh shit, I forgot her collar. Her choker. Okay, I might. Okay, never mind. There we go. Haram. All right, you can you try to put a black bars on their eyes? That would be more sus. No, I'm not gonna do that. That's too sus. But yeah, both of them have been kind of going through some redesigning. Like, Katie, I haven't drawn her full body yet, but designs overall is gonna be something like this. And then Rain, I already finalized her. For some of you guys who haven't seen it, this is Rain final design. Cab, it's so big file. Kablam! There you go. A little bit here and there. The hair is probably gonna go through here and there design stuff, but it's basically overall Rain's overall design. So I probably should do Katie soon. Rain or Rain, Rayne. Rain. Rain and Katie. Just very basic names. I don't know. I just want to come up with a name for them. Rain obviously is roughly inspired by the you know, the fucking Blood Rain. I just for some reason I immediately go for that. Since she's a vampire, you know, and then there's this game called Blood Rain, you know, and I was like, it's nice. Let me use that. She's so edgy, but she uses Reaper cosmetic and Sea of Thieves. I don't know that. But she is a vampire. That's the idea. She's a vampire, and Katie is classified. I'm not revealing her yet, design-wise, but she can shapeshift. That's the idea. I want to have fun with her when I make the full body reference. Not Raven. Okay, fucking Teen Titans. I know, but there's variation of just one name. Variation of just one name? What do you mean? Sorry. You know she can suck me dry, Jesus. Oh my god. You're not obligated to play this. I know that's a thing, alright? But I don't know if I'm gonna play it. I don't know, man. Is it a good game? Dude, it even got mixed as a review. The game eats inputs for a platforming game that eats your jump inputs while holding right half the time is Oh no, that's why? Ooh. Who designed that? The hair platformer game that have an input that eats it's the previous inputs is a big mistake. Like Tony, Antonio, and Antony. Oh, I mean Rain. Can you what other alternative you can go with? Rain. I don't know. Rain Ray, which is my name. Now it kind of makes it weird. Ray, Rain, Rainy. I can imagine Katie call her Rainy sometimes. Rain, Rainy. You know what I mean? Probably. Yeah. And then Katie, Cat, Katie, Kitty. Like, yeah. You know? Cat, Katie, Kitty. My surrender from the flame, I'll take my head. Red, Overwatch 1.5, I mean 2, when you play again? Not sure. I'm probably only gonna play it again when I play with friends. Like Gara, Kay, Jigs, the whole gang. But I check suggestion, I can do Dollar Store, Bloodborne. I already installed the demo. We're gonna play it after this. I thought it was Katie for a moment. I mean Katie. It's just that this Katie is like Katie because her full name is Catherine, but she prefers Katie. You know? Katie. This Catherine's a little bit dumb. So, okay. Let me make a quick thingy thing here. My surrender from the flame I'll take. So, this one, her name is Katie. Something like this. Her full name is Catherine. Boom. Singing again. And this is Rain. I'm gonna make a full reference someday for them. I just don't have enough time for it yet. Like full reference is gonna be like full body, front side, back side. So if you guys want to make fucking fan art for her or for them, it would be a blessing. Also depends on the name, I guess. Like Antonia and Antony are not the same name, but Tony can be short for both. Rain seems a weird name. Weird to have a nickname. Caitlyn, what's her full name now? Catherine. To have Cat or Katie for short seems natural. Yeah, Caitlyn, Catherine. Yeah, I get the idea. Rain. No, not H. Just Rain. Ketamine? Driggs. Sing it again, again, again. There we go. A little bit character introduction, I guess. Raiden, I don't know. It's already like a nickname. Tarjo. Raiden's already like a nickname, so I don't think I don't think there's a shorten or something like that. There's a reason why her name is Raiden, but my goal is to introduce them properly in the future through a 4 comic. So like there's like a build up storyline. So that will introduces basically all 4 of my OC in one, universe that I'm gonna make. Leo, Rhea, Katie, and Raiden. That's a goal. If I have time to it. Singing again, again, again. It's not about you. Leo silent, by the way? Oh. Bop, bop, bop. There we go. Thank you. I accidentally clicked the shortcut. But yeah, if you guys got any more questions about them, go ahead, go ahead. Singing again, again. And no, Katie cannot shapeshift into a giant tentacle. That's not a thing, right? I'm sorry, that's not gonna be a thing, and that is not a thing. I know. The moment I say shapeshifting, some of you guys already ooh no, it's it's not that way. Like the girl in the shapeshifter comic. What is that? I don't know that comic. I don't think most of these questions are good for Twitch. Depends. And she turned into cock. What? But okay, listen. By shapeshifting, she can turn her limbs into things. Or she can kinda, like, this is still pending, but she can kinda turn into someone else if she want to. Imagine Mystique from X-Men. Basically. So it's like she can do it, but it's exhausting. Do they like cucumber? Huh? I guess. Cucumber is delicious. But yeah, I guess the good example would be Mystique from X-Men. Saint Stolfo. But yeah, she can do it, but it's not as a willy-dilly, because that's gonna be OP if she can just shapeshift whatever she want to. There's a lot of rules set. that I haven't really thought about, but you know, it's just a fun shit. So I can make her OP if I want to. Maybe sometimes I'll draw her using the power as a demonstration. Shapeshifter I mentioned is a NSFW. I see. I see. Not gonna say more. Fair enough. Hmm. Hold up. Yeah, I'm kind of out of ideas right now. Blah, 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 blah. I'm probably gonna just let this bake for a bit. Probably gonna go back to this again with a fresh ideas. But overall, the drawing's kind of done. Probably just more details on what things that I want to put in. What do you guys say if we do some React Andy? Because I'm actually getting kind of hungry. so we can watch some stuff. Bum 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 bum. Okay, this song is way too fucking dank. Bum 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 bum. Ooh. Woo! Oh, this is a nice one. Ooh, this is so nice. To the playlist you go. The fuck? Oh. Alright, I think we're gonna save it here. Oh my god. Buy followers, primes, and viewers in fuck you. Yo, Rat OT. Last stream I was asking you whether you've watched the Batman 2022 or not. I've watched it yesterday on HBO. I fell asleep, watched it again today until I understood the whole story. Just know my cup of tea. I like the Nolans more. Well, I haven't watched it, first of all. I probably should. Literally everyone who've watched it tell me to watch it. Including recently Jigs. But yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight is really hard to beat it. It's a very interesting. It puts a very interesting take on superhero movies. Like it's not just your typical, oh shit, this is like these guys have superpower and they do shit, fight crimes and do good. But the Dark Knight Nolan's Dark Knight, it's more of a like you know, the story about how Bruce Wayne go through things, you know, and becoming Batman or turning into Batman, stuff like that. It's just a very different take of superhero, which is very interesting, and I like it. Like it's not boring. Yes, makes sense. That's why it's really hard to not compare the current Batman with the Dark Knight series, but at the same time, I also feel like we cannot really compare directly of you know the Pattinson Batman versus the you know Nolan's Dark Knight. Who's the director for the Batman? I don't know. Shit, I just know it's fucking Pattinson. I'm sorry. The Batman movie is so human and grounded to reality, which I really like. But yeah, I fall asleep not because it's not good. Yeah, I gotcha. I'm pretty sure it's good because a lot of people actually praised it, but it's not like I guess if you were expecting the Dark Knight kind of Batman, yeah, probably you know shouldn't probably watch it with that expectation. Probably, I don't know. I might have to watch it myself. I don't know. Maybe we could do a movie night of Batman if you guys are down on Discord. We could do that. We could do that. But will she? Will she? I'm gonna ask Jix to host it since he's the one that were able to watch it and all that kind of stuff. Still think the Dark Knight is the goat? Yeah, I gotcha. I know what you mean. The Dark Knight is definitely hard to defeat for sure. Faux show. It is not just your typical stuff. You know what I mean? The fuck? What did I? But I'm not saying that it's not okay to compare them because it's fine. It's both you know, a movie containing just, telling a story about Batman, which is fine. It is fine and dandy and shit like that. You know? Holy fuck. Hubba 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 hubba. Okay, this song's way too much right now. We have Gundala, which is better than the Dark Knight. I don't know about that, but sure. Gundala Putra Patir. To be fair, I haven't watched it, but I've read some of the comics back in the day because my dad used to have them. So he's a fan, apparently, of the author of Gundala. I was like, oh shit. Unfortunately, we haven't watched it because I think the movie came out during a pandemic, if I'm not wrong.
Fun fact, Fallout 2, 1998, had a perk called Child Killer which I'm sure you can guess how to get, and it changed the gaming industry. Since then, it became top rule that the player cannot be allowed to kill children, like in 1997's Postal.
Interesting. Thank you for the fun fact, Saints Flow. Shit. So it all started in Fallout 2, huh? Well, Bethesda's really good at making NPC children NPC that's super fucking annoying, like in the Skyrim one. Hey, what are you looking at? Those kids in the fucking I forgot the name of the city. It's so fucking annoying when you talk to them. It's like, God damn it, this kids. Oh my god. Okay. Alright, anyways, I'm gonna take a break. So, not break, because we're gonna watch some videos. If you guys got any links, react anytime. Because I'm hungry. I'm gonna eat while watching some videos. One second. Let me just share with a smaller. What the fuck? Oh. Best to leave them here. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, tweet pushed it. Whoa, is this unprocessed? Ooh. I recognize that voice and guitar everywhere. Alright. Let's see what you got. See what you guys got. Uh one second, one second. Oh no, wait, wrong lane. No worries, no worries. Hungry, you say hungry, not Hungary. Oh my god, you gotta learn some Hungarian anything again. Ooh, Obi-Wan Kenobi got a new trailer. We can see that, and we can watch that. Uh. Uh, clips, you say? Clips? Warcraft Arclight Rumble new mobile game. Oh no. Let's check it out. Warcraft new mobile game. Let's go. Okay. Oh, it's gonna be interesting. Dude, this fucking Call of Duty Warzone. Oh shit. Hold on. Oh my god, I fucked up. Alright, never mind. Start watching. So I'm really hungry right now. Holy shit. Ah, fuck! Sorry. Jesus Christ, my ear. I died. Ah.